Hello, Cherries fans. Welcome to The Lowdown, and we bring you these shows when there's a little bit of transfer activity surrounding AFC Bournemouth, and there has been over the last 24 hours or so. Mark McAdam has tweeted that AFC Bournemouth were leading the race to sign Wellington Phoenix goalkeeper Alex Paulsen, and it looks like it could well be rubber stamped very soon. I think Chelsea and Liverpool also made inquiries for the 21-year-old, but the deal is looking to be worth around £850,000 with add-ons that could take it closer to £2 million. Now, to talk about it, we've got Back of the Net's New Zealand correspondent, Sean Barker, the founder of Back of the Net. But Sean, I gather you know a fair bit about this keeper.
Yes, so it's been fun, Sam, to see. I have been hit with so many DMs from mates here going, because everyone knows I'm a Bournemouth fan. Oh my God, mate, what's happening? What's happening? And I was like, what? And I went on Twitter and saw that we're signing Paulsen. And what's also been fun is seeing all the Bournemouth fans tweeting going, who is this guy? Don't know anything about him.
Yeah. So we're in a bit of a quandary here because it seems like we've got plenty of keepers at AFC Bournemouth. And I suppose being a goalkeeper, it's a position where for the first team, there's only one place. So for all the goalkeepers you sign, you probably won't see many of them. And it seems that way with Callum McKenna, but I know that he's one for the future. He's in the development squad, etc. But this guy, can you tell me a little bit about him and where do you expect him maybe to fit in at AFC Bournemouth? But you know him well because you live in Wellington, right?
I do. It's my new hometown club. Well, new. I've been in Wellington for over 10 years now. And as much as I obviously still love the Cherries, they're still my club, I adopted the Wellington Phoenix pretty much. So Wellington Phoenix, up until next season, they're the only professional club that we've had in the A-League, the Australian A-League. So we historically, before Wellington, we had the New Zealand Knights, which was Auckland-based, and they went bust due to just having people, I think, who didn't know what they were doing. Wellington Phoenix rose out of the ashes, literally, and have been the only side in the A-League. And historically, we haven't been great. We've had a few bright sparks in the past where we did make it close to getting to the grand final of the A-League, but not really. Hard to entice players when you can live on the sunny coast of Australia. We have to travel for every away game. I mean, it's a minimum of 3.5 hour flight. When we play Perth, it is the longest distance any club in the world has to travel for an away game because it's about a 5.5, 6 hour flight. So there's reasons why historically the Phoenix haven't been able to be in the upper echelons of the A-League. However, this last season for the Phoenix has been a phenomenal year. We finished second in the A-League, and to be fair, we were a penalty kick away in the last minute of a game 3 weeks before the season ended from actually winning the minor plate, because how it works because there's no relegation, they have a playoff. So if you win the league, you win the minor plate, but then you go into the playoffs. The top two teams get a week off. And so we finished second. We had a game here 2 weeks ago against Melbourne Victory. There were 34,000 of us in the stadium. And sadly, we lost 2-1 in extra time. But it has been a phenomenal season for the Wellington Phoenix. And a key part of that reason was Alex Paulsen.
Wow.
So he is someone who you could tell is destined to be a lot higher than the A-League. So it is absolutely no surprise that a club in Europe, a big club in Europe, we are a big club in Europe for now, right? Of course. Came in for him. So for me, and I guess for Cherries fans who maybe don't know about him, I am incredibly excited that we've managed to nab him. He played. So he's been in the Phoenix for a few years. Last season he was a reserve goalkeeper to Ollie Sale. He didn't play a single minute. The year before that he played. He came on a sub, played a couple of games. This year Ollie Sale left to go to Australia, and there was a toss-up in pre-season as to who was going to get the number one slot. Right. It was given to Paulsen. He played every minute of every game. He won Fans Player of the Year. He won the Player of the Year for the league. We just had the All-Star game where they played against Newcastle, albeit the Newcastle kids, and beat them by a ridiculous amount of goals. He captained the side because he got more fan votes than any other player in the league.
Wow.
And I guess the headline from this is that if he was to play for Bournemouth, he without doubt will be the best ball-playing goalkeeper that Bournemouth have ever had in our history.
That's
And I
some
guess
statement.
that's the one I want to put out there straight away. He is a modern goalkeeper in that you can give him the ball at his feet. He does not stress. He can beat a player. He can beat two players. He does not. You can give him the ball with a striker on him. He is calm as a cucumber, and he'll distribute the ball. And in the modern age, that is what you look at Edison at Man City, and that is the absolute pinnacle of a goalkeeper who can play with his feet, I think, in the Premier League, arguably. We haven't had that at Bournemouth. Neto, he's okay with his feet. Trevor, he's okay. Borrett, he's okay. Neil Moss, Ian Andrews. We can go through the list. We haven't had a goalkeeper at Bournemouth who is like Alex Paulsen.
And you're not saying that out of overly loyal rose-tinted spectacles because, as a huge Wellington Phoenix fan, because you've played in that position yourself, right?
Yeah, so, I went through the youth School of Excellence at AFC Bournemouth. I was trained by Neil Moss, an England trial at under-15s. And then I got into, like we all do, rock and roll music and, all the other side of life. And I just wasn't, But so I was trained as a goalkeeper. So I've always been interested in goalkeepers. And this guy is the real deal. Now, is he good enough to come in and be a Premier League number one? Who knows? He's 21 years old. But he has got every attribute you need of a goalkeeper. He is a phenomenal shot stopper. He isn't the tallest. He's 109.
Just about to say, he's 2 inches shorter than Aaron Ramsdale, who I never thought was the tallest.
No. But what he has worked on really hard, and he said this in an interview about a year ago, the one part of his game he needed to work on was crosses. And what he has done is he has incredible ability to read the ball. Right. So his timing of coming out to crosses is spot on. He also knows when to catch it, when to punch it, which often you don't see into a keeper in their late 20s because of that experience. We have had games this year with the Wellington Phoenix where the way the side was set up was, especially away from home, we were incredibly defensive and we were looking to catch teams on the break, which meant our defence had to withhold a huge amount of pressure because we were letting the Australian teams come at us. We conceded the least amount of goals all year of any side. And one of those things was when there's balls coming into the box, he knows when to just come out and get a big fist and punch it away.
Okay,
he has also got this incredible knack of saving penalties, which is it luck or not? But I think he saved the first 3 penalties he faced this season. But his positional play is great, and for a 21-year-old, he does not stress. He just comes across as a guy who isn't flustered, is commanding, is a shot stopper, and importantly, and I think that's probably why Iraola really likes him, is he is really, really, really comfortable with the ball at his feet.
And that lends to Iraola style, doesn't it? Because that's exactly what he wants. I mean, where do you think he's going to fit in, though? And what's his kind of roadmap ahead? I mean, of course, you're not Mystic Meg, but where do you expect things to go for him? Would it be as a number 2, as a number 3, going straight in, unlikely, playing for the development team or something like that? What do you sense?
Yeah, so there's a bit of talk. So obviously in New Zealand, we've got Bill Foley has purchased the rights for Auckland. So next year we're going to have an Auckland side in the A-League. Now,
are you not going to switch allegiances or what? Because Sean, it's Bill Foley. It's AFC Bournemouth related. What? Surely that half and half scarf's coming out, and then you slowly just morph over to the Auckland side, right? No,
mate. If you live in Wellington, bro, you know the difference between Wellington and Auckland, mate. There's if you're from Auckland, you're called a Jaffa, which is Jafa, and I think this is a kids show, so I won't tell you what the F is, but just another Aucklander. So right, no, the real deal is the Phoenix. So immediately what happened was from the press here was the talk about they've jumped in and signed him, and they're going to loan him to Auckland. Now, yes, that could happen. I contest that. For me, he has shown that he is comfortable at A-League level. So yes, he could stay for a year in Auckland, but they're not going to learn anymore. Like, he's had a phenomenal season. He's won Player of the Year. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
In terms of A-League, now the jump between A-League and Europe is an interesting jump. So the A-League it's a fascinating league, and it's really hard. Some people say to me, "Well, what level is it at?" And some people say, "Well, it's the Championship level." I don't think it is. It can be League One level, but with Championship players, or it could be Championship level with some Premier League players, but also with some lower league, because the squad depth isn't there. So if you look at a squad,
you've got stars like Joe Lolly in the A-League, mate.
Bro, Paul Eiffel, who was ex-Millwall, was possibly one of the greatest Phoenix players of all time. Yeah. However, having said that, that's not to take away from those guys who are absolutely talented and destined for the top things. Yeah. Alex Paulsen was always going to leave the Phoenix. He was always going to outgrow the A-League. He was going to make it in Europe. So as a Bournemouth fan, you should be excited because he was always going to make that jump. Now, is he going to make it? There's a couple of thoughts. I don't personally, and I might be wrong because I'm not Mystic Meg. I don't think he'd go to Auckland because there's no point. He's done what he could do in the A-League. Will he go to Hibernian? Their goalkeeper, I believe, is 39-year-old Scottish legend, but 39. Yeah. Does he go and do a year in the Scottish Premier League to introduce him to high-level European football, potentially?
He's worked for Will Dennis, yeah.
Does he go to Lorient? Maybe. Does he spend a year getting trained by Premier League coaches? Is he a reserve goalkeeper? Does he get a run in the League Cup and the FA Cup? And does he get his chance to shine? I don't want to say I've got rose-tinted glasses, but I actually think he could. I think this kid is good enough. He will make it. Now, he's 21. Will he make it with us? I think we've got a phenomenal opportunity to give him a go. In our style of play and the way he can play out from the back, if you were to throw him in pre-season and see how he goes, I wouldn't be surprised. It might not turn out at nothing. Who knows? But this kid will make it. Will he make it with us if we've given him the space to grow? Is he good enough with his feet? Yes, he is.
I suppose it all depends what the decisions are around Neto, around Travers. I mean, from murmurings that I hear, a lot of staffers, whether this is true or not, I don't know, are not, especially in the goalkeeping department, are not sure or convinced that Travers is the one to take the number one shirt. Now, I don't particularly think it's Neto, but Neto, of course, has had his doubters as well, including us. So it'll be really interesting to see where he fits in. And what does this mean for Darren Randolph? I mean, is he going to be going or not? I mean, it's really interesting. What's his character like? What's his personality like? Is he someone that gets involved in the changing room? Is he you when we played Sunday football? The heart and soul of the dressing room.
What's good about him is, and funny enough, because New Zealand's a small place, everyone knows someone. I was chatting to a colleague at work who knows another goalkeeper that was playing relatively high up in New Zealand football. Let's say that, and I was chatting to him about Paulsen, and he said the difference between the two of them was that his guy he knows would still go out on a Friday night, have a few drinks. Right. Paulsen, no. Paulsen, from a very as soon as he got in, is incredibly professional.
Okay.
So he's also incredibly passionate. So when you see him on the field, he's got good command. He loves celebrating, which I already love, because you love a player that can celebrate. I'm excited, put it that way. Is he going to set the light on fire and be our number one? I'm not going to say he is definitely going to make that happen. What I will say to Cherries fans is he has the chance to make a big future. He'll make it somewhere. And if he can make it with us, and if he can change our style of play in terms of giving him the ball and he becomes a ball-playing goalkeeper, which, like you said, Iraola wants. Neto is not that goalkeeper. Neto is not the future. Travers, for me, I've never been sold on Travers, ever. The first game he played, that game against Spurs, when everyone was like, oh my God, this is the greatest goalkeeper ever. Like, if he'd have conceded any of those saves he'd made, I reckon you'd go, yeah, you should have saved those, mate. And that's not to diminish. I mean, he plays for Ireland. He's got to be pretty good. Is he the future of our goalkeeper? I'm going to say it now. No, he's not. Okay. It's Will Dennis. I don't know. I haven't seen much of him. Should we be excited about Paulsen? Hey, why not? And if a New Zealander can make it, then why not?
Why not? Perfect. Well, Sean, it's been a pleasure. And you know what? I think people are going to be missing your face. A lot of people will have just heard your dulcet tones on the podcast when this thing is started. I think we should make this a regular thing throughout the season. Just have a little catch up every so often. And
I'd love it.
You can keep me informed on what's happening in Auckland with the Jaffas. And
yes,
why not? And also like your own side as well. So it'd be really interesting to catch up regularly.
Definitely. It's just for me, it's just great. I'm seeing Bournemouth in the news. Obviously, all stuff are on big national website and news. Everyone's talking about Bournemouth, talking about Paulsen. As I said, they're all talking about he's going to go to Auckland. It could still happen. I don't think it is. Cherries fans, why not? Let's get on the bandwagon. Paulsen's going to be our number one for the next 10 years.
Love
Heard
that.
it here first.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, Sean. What can people do if they like this video?
Oh, you can definitely. What do you kids say these days? Like and subscribe. The buttons are down here.
Absolute pro, Sean. It's been a pleasure.
Still got it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Love seeing your face, Sam Davis, and love you, Tom. Love back of the net.
Thank you very much. Well, there you go. What do you think about the signing? Let us know in the comments below, and of course, we'll see you soon for another video. Up the cherries! Come on.
In all departments.